Welcome to a new video. Let's take a look at some new malicious compliance stories. The first story is called, Must Buy Breakfast for the Team. I work with a large multi-billion corporation in logistics where we are largely commission-based doing sales. Everyone here is in control over their own clients and book of business. We have managers, but they aren't there to run your book or micromanage, they are there to help motivate you and find solutions to things you may have not run into yet. If I don't come in one day or am late, it doesn't hurt anyone but myself. So I work as much as I possibly can. Being a little late shouldn't be a big deal, but it got to the point a large chunk of the office was routinely showing up 15 minutes after the start. I agree, being late shouldn't be a habit, but they are only hurting themselves. If they don't hit numbers, they will just get fired. Living in a central state and having mainly East Coast clients means I am in the office about an hour before most people anyway. Well, my team manager enacted a rule where if you are more than 10 minutes late, you have to bring breakfast for the team. My team consists of 16 people. So everyone showed up on time last week, then Thursday rolls around and I called him to explain how my dog is sick and I will be 30 minutes to an hour late. He just replies via text, I better bring breakfast for everyone. Even though I am historically there well before anyone, I was to become his first subject and example. I called to say no, I cannot do that, Christmas is coming up and I have travel plans I need the money for. Well, he pushes back and says to bring it anyway. Now I'm fairly mad as my team originally thought the rule was a joke and in no way enforceable. So an idea forms in my mind, I was not going to take this. I call up a local restaurant and order 16 double egg and bacon sandwiches and 16 large orange juices. When I make it in about an hour late, the team loves the gesture and my manager doesn't say a word as he grabs his juice and sandwich. Now here's where the fun comes in. Our expense reports were due the next day, in order to receive it by the following paycheck. I expense the full $180 and submit it without saying a word to him. The branch manager called me in the next morning and asks what the expense is for. When I explain team breakfast and the rule and show him the texts from my manager, he gets red in the face and tells me that it will get paid and to be on my way. Not 5 minutes later, my manager gets a call and everyone could immediately see on his face him getting yelled at. He goes into the branch manager's office and proceeds to get a long talking to about what he can and cannot enforce on employees. Looking extremely defeated, he sat down and didn't say a word the rest of the day. He had to send out an email to the team recalling the rule about breakfast and apologizing if he put undue pressure on us and that he just wants us to succeed, and being late is not the way to do so. The next week Monday morning, I brought in breakfast for the team again, 12 donuts for about $14. The next story is called, Customer Insisted on Securing His Fridge. I worked at a large store while in college. I was in the warehouse, and throughout the day, we would have to bring large items out for customers. We also had an outlet store, so we often had to bring out unboxed appliances. One day, a customer came in with a receipt for a fridge he bought from the outlet store. So I grab it and bring it out. Turns out he has a pickup, with a very tall canopy over the back and a bed that was absolutely full of construction debris. The crap was level with the top of the pickup bed, but the canopy was pretty tall and would accommodate most of the fridge, laying on its back. We gave him the warning about making sure to set it back vertically for 24 hours before plugging it in. Anyway, we shoved it in, but it didn't quite fit far enough to close the back doors. So I ran and grabbed some nylon twine to tie the two door handles together to keep it from flying out. At this point, the customer starts giving me a talk for using weak twine that will break immediately. I pointed out that the twine was absolutely as strong as could be and definitely would not break. But he started searching around in the back of his truck and pulled out 10 feet or so of coaxial cable. The cable for a TV. He told me, here, now this is strong. I couldn't help looking at him like he was insane. You might make a case that it is somewhat strong. But there's no way at all you could tie it together to secure it. It would clearly unravel almost instantly. I tactfully tried to explain this to him, but he just got angrier. I began to realize that I better get a witness to me, before I start explaining to this dude that he was an idiot. So I called loss prevention and they came down and together we explained to him that we cannot guarantee that his idea would properly secure his load and that if something happens, we would not be liable. And then loss prevention took some Polaroid photos of the completely tied up job. Flash forward 15 minutes. The guy is back in our parking lot. There is no fridge in the back of his truck. He's steaming mad. He screams that he wants to see the store manager. So I call the manager and then also call loss prevention, who came a little bit later. So apparently he drove down the road, and about a quarter mile away, he turned right to get on the freeway entrance ramp. At that moment, the back doors flew open, and the fridge flew out. Apparently it was currently sitting in 3 pieces on the side of the freeway entrance. The guy screamed at the store manager, claiming I completely messed up the loading of his car and he wants a new fridge. At this point, loss prevention showed up and explained to the manager, it wasn't quite the way he is saying it. He offered to secure it tightly with our approved, super strong twine. But the customer insisted that he use a coaxial cable instead. He made it clear that he felt this would not secure the fridge and in fact called us up to document the situation. And here are the photos of what it looked like and what the customer said he approved. The manager looked at the photo, rolled his eyes, and told the customer, "I'm sorry sir, this is completely on you." And then the manager walked away. I was stunned. The store honestly would take anything back, or refund anything, as long as you pushed it a bit. But I guess this situation was so clear-cut to the manager that he wasn't going to give an inch. The guy sputtered that he was gonna sue us. And in the distance, without turning around, the manager just says, "It's always your prerogative to throw away even more of your money." The third story is called, Biggest Payday of My Life. I'm a contractor at a big bank in New York City. No benefits, but I'm paid by the hour. I like the people I work for, and while I realize I get paid well, I try to make sure they get their money's worth. On a Friday before the start of a 3-day weekend, I was told by one of the managers, not mine as he is out on vacation, that one of my applications was malfunctioning in production and that it absolutely needed to be fixed fast. This application was tested to a crazy degree, so the first thing I did was call up the server administrator. I asked what the difference between our test and the production systems was. After some prodding, I figure out that the production system consists of 2 clustered servers, whereas the test server is all on its own. On the theory that the data isn't transferring between the paired servers fast enough for the next web page to be rendered, I suggest checking the sticky bit, which would ensure that when a person uses the application, they will stick to one server, to eliminate the data transfer problem. The administrator, a friend of mine, tells me she can't make that change without her department's manager's approval, a kind of know-it-all guy. I tell my substitute manager what I think the problem is, thinking he'll go to bat for me. Instead, he tells me to stay as long as it takes, including giving up my weekend to ensure it's working. He also tells me I'll have to work it out with the department manager for the server group. Long story short, that guy proceeds to make my and his 2 employees' lives miserable all weekend. I keep suggesting the sticky bit, he keeps telling me, there's no way that's it. And he suggests one stupid strategy after another. I keep telling my substitute manager what's happening and he keeps telling me to work it out and stay as long as I need to. Finally, late on Columbus Day, my admin friend says, "I'm just going to try your idea without telling him." And, as assumed, it fixes the problem with less than 2 minutes of effort. When my manager got back from vacation last week, he called me over to his desk. He had just gotten the bill from the contracting firm and seemed mad. I had billed for 3 extra 8-hour days. He says, "I just have one question, where did you sleep?" "On the couch in the waiting room." "Okay. Thanks." Earlier today, my manager came over with an envelope, and when he handed it to me he said, "I would tell you to thank the substitute manager and the server group manager for this. But since it came out of their budgets, maybe best not to. Don't spend it all in one place." The check was for my regular pay plus almost $18,000. My manager socked their budgets for time and a half from the end of the business on Friday to open a business on Tuesday. When I told him later that I felt bad, he said, "You shouldn't. You taught him a very valuable lesson in server technology and business management that they obviously missed." Did I mention my boss used to be a programmer himself? The next story is called, Furious Customer. So, I'm in my early 20s and work in a call center for a gas company. A few months ago, I had an angry customer call in. "Hi, can I take your name please?" "Well, I've been waiting a full 20 minutes to speak to someone." 20 minutes is quick for our office. "I've called today because..." "I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. I need to confirm your account details so I can have a look at your account, please. Do not interrupt me. I am the customer and the customer is always right. I pay your wages. Now listen here, I don't want to hear another word from you. Understood?" I was stunned and silent. "That's more like it. Now, I've called today because..." She then told me all about the issues with her account. For about 40 minutes. All the while, I had 2 managers check if I was okay, as I'm not exactly the quiet type. I just sat there for 40 minutes with my headset muted, playing Atari Breakout on Google. After 40 minutes, she started to get to the end of her rant. I paused my game and unmuted my headset. "So now I want you to tell me what you're going to do to fix this billing issue." I was still silent. "Excuse me. Are you still there?" "Yes, I'm still here." "Well? What are you planning on doing to fix this?" "Well, you've come through to the wrong department. I'm happy to get the number for you if you'd like." She screamed, "Well, why didn't you think to tell me that at the start of the call? I tried, but you told me to be quiet before I had even confirmed the account details. You are an idiot. Your entire company is full of idiots. I don't appreciate being spoken to like that. If you swear at me again, I will be forced to end the call." "Fine, what's their number?" I give her the correct number. "And do they have the same hours as your department?" 8 to 10, right. That team is only open from 9 to 5 on weekdays. She realizes it is now 5 minutes past 5 on a Friday. "What? How dare you?" I hang up. I said to my team manager, "I've just hung up on her." I did warn her not to swear. The last story is called Check Everyone. A few years ago, my friend worked at a little hole-in-the-wall franchise liquor store here in Canada. The staff received a notice from management stating that they suspected that a commission was going to be doing some secret shopping in the area to find liquor stores who weren't checking for ID, and that as such they were to ID every single customer without exception. So one day my friend is on shift and her horrible manager and franchise owner, who no one liked, comes in to purchase a bottle. My friend asks for the ID. "Can I see your ID?" "I didn't bring it with me." "Just ring me up." "Sorry, as stated in your note, I can't do that. I need to see the ID of every customer. No exceptions." "Friend, ring me up now. Or you'll be written up." "Sorry, I can't do that, manager. You were very explicit that we ID everyone. You should have known to bring yours. Obviously that doesn't apply to me. I own the store. Ring me up or you're fired." "I guess I'll leave then." So my friend drops her apron and starts walking to the door, and her manager lunges for her and grabs her and starts yelling in her face about how she's fired and going to be banned from every franchise store for life due to insubordination. Then, out of nowhere, a plainclothes police officer cuffs the manager and she gets arrested for assault. As it turns out, in the line behind the manager was not only a plainclothes officer but a commission employee. In the end, the employee fined the manager over $10,000 and she was fired by the franchise for the incident and banned from even entering one of their stores again, in addition to the suspended sentence and community service time she was sentenced to for assaulting her staff member. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel for more content. Let me know what you think about the stories in the comment section below. Have a great day. Bye bye.